Born with most of his brain and skull missing, baby Jaxon Emmett Buell was not expected to live. In fact, his parents had been told to abort him when doctors discovered his condition. But he has defied all odds, and now he has just celebrated his first birthday. 30-year-old Brandon and 27-year-old Brittany Buell were told by doctors that he had an extreme brain malformation, which meant he would probably not survive the pregnancy. Jaxon was initially diagnosed as having Anencephaly, a neural tube birth defect in which a child is born without parts of the brain and skull, but doctors were still unsure of how severe his condition would be. Brandon said, after our second ultrasound at 17 weeks, when we found out he was a boy, we knew something was up. When the ultrasound technician went towards his head and went very quiet. Brittany got the call the next day from the doctors saying there was a concern with the MRI results. She was in tears and told me there was an issue with the baby. Of course, I lost it at work, so they sent me home and the rest of the day was a blur truly. For the next few weeks, the anxious couple were transferred between doctors and given 5 possible conditions of what it could be. Spina bifida, Dandy-Walker syndrome and Joubert syndrome. Doctors gave them the option to terminate the pregnancy at 23 weeks, but they refused. Brandon said, "We went home that night thinking, if you are telling us to abort, we would never know what Jaxon could have been, if he could have survived. Who are we to decide? We were given a child, we are given a chance, and we have to be his voice. We did everything we could to give him a fighting chance, and all he's done since being born is fight right back." Brittany said, "I was devastated. It was heartbreaking because something I always wanted my whole life was happening, but then I was told there was a possibility it might be a stillborn. It took all the joy away from me. The happiness that normal women have when they are pregnant, I had none of that. The miracle baby survived the pregnancy and was born by cesarean section on August 27, 2014, weighing 4 pounds. He spent his first 3 weeks connected to multiple tubes in a neonatal intensive care unit in Winnie Palmer Hospital, Florida, as brain surgeons tried to understand his condition. Brandon said, "It was very emotional. I remember holding him on day 2 and listening to the doctors say my son would probably never walk, never talk, never know when he's hungry, or never hear or see. They really did not expect him to make it." Following multiple hospital visits and a 2-month scare of multiple seizures, inconsolable screaming, and feeding tube issues, Jaxon was taken to the emergency room at Boston Children's Hospital, a top U.S. hospital for pediatric neurology, in August and was diagnosed with microhydranencephaly, a new medicine that has since eased Jaxon's condition and made him a lot happier.